Welcome back, guys, to the next episode of RaceChip Insights. Today we got the brand new BMW X4 M to develop the tune for it, measure the car on the dyno and on the street 100 to 200 on the German Autobahn. So let's go.
Guys, so as Dani mentioned, we're sitting in a brand new BMW X4. As probably most of you know, the X4 as a standard car has been on the market for quite a while, I think 1.5 or even 2 years.
Yeah.
So why did it take BMW so long to release the performance version of the car? I think it's because of the new engine, right?
Yeah, it's a brand new engine. It's called S58. It's the latest M engine, and it's not based on the S55 what most people would guess maybe. It is more or less based on the current 6-cylinder platform, which is B58, but they changed basically everything. But we're gonna talk about the engine itself a little bit later on the dyno. But yeah, it basically got not much to do anymore with the base B58.
Yeah. So actually for those of you who thought, okay, they just took the engine out of the current M4, stuck it into an SUV to have a competitor to, let's say, a GLC 63 AMG. No, they didn't. They actually developed the engine for the upcoming M3 and M4 and put it in here first to see how good it performs, which is kind of a first time in my opinion, and it's pretty nice to know.
Yeah, and pretty important for us because, I mean, it's the first time the engine appears somewhere, and it will be the engine of the M3 and M4, which will be released somewhere around 2020, end of.
Yeah.
That's what rumors say, so.
Alright, so as Dani said, next up we're heading to the dyno to see how the car performs in stock. First, we're gonna do a little sound check because, you know, GPF, OPF, there's a lot of discussion. Also, a lot of people were complaining about the sound of the S55, like from the current M4, which I think both of us don't really understand. We both like it. But yeah, let's do a short sound check and see how it sounds.
So first of all, a few words to the engine itself. It's called S58 and it's basically the new M engine, which will be also featured in the brand new M3 and M4. It is called S58 because the base platform of the engine is the current 6-cylinder, which is the B58. However, both engine doesn't share much anymore, to be honest. At the S55 we are looking at the biturbo engine now, different bore, different stroke, completely new cooling system, and also some parts of the cylinder head are 3D printed. So basically both engine doesn't share much anymore. They are completely different, and just the name might be a little bit misleading that they have much in common. Actually they don't. So now to the serial performance of the car. We measured the car with 533 horsepower in stock and 623 newton meters in stock, which is slightly above the official figures from BMW, but still, you don't complain about that. And the engine is in great shape. I will overlay the tuning chart now so we can compare the stock and the tuned curve. So after 2 weeks of development time, we finished the tune, and this is the final result. Of course, we are looking at all the important values for the engine, like air-to-fuel ratio, obviously boost pressure, temperature and stuff like that. And that is what we got out of the engine: 610 horsepower and 724 newton meters of torque, which is a lot more than stock, and actually a lot more than the stock figured measures as well. What you can see on the chart now, the thin line is stock, blue wheel horsepower, thin line red is horsepower, engine horsepower, thin line orange is torque, thick line obviously the tuned version. So basically we try to keep the behavior of the engine as it is, because we actually think that how the engine behaves more like an NA is pretty cool, and we want to keep it like that. And that is what we done basically in development. You can see that how the torque and how the power is transmitted is basically the same as stock, just a lot more than stock. And I'm pretty excited to see the 100 to 200 times on the German Autobahn, what the car will put down in stock and how much we can increase it with the GTS Black power increase. 100. So we finished the time measurement on the Autobahn, 100 to 200 kilometers per hour, and to be honest, the car is already quite fast in stock, at least in my opinion. I mean, we're talking about a 2-point-something tons SUV, so in stock we got 11.4, I think so. Yeah. And with the tune, we dropped the time down to 9.2, which is an awesome improvement in my opinion. And we are below that 10 seconds area. So, I mean, you can compare it basically, if you have a look at the 100 to 200 times, you can compare it to the Z4 M40i, the current generation.
Absolutely.
Which is really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it's always, if you do this often, you think, okay, 2 seconds is a big difference, but you kind of tend to lose a little bit of track how much it actually is, because it's one thing to get a car from 18 to 16 seconds,
yeah, right.
But it's a completely different beast to get a 11 second stock car to below 10, exactly. Even a low 9 seconds range. It's like huge. But on the other hand, to be honest, like with this performance difference with the tune, yeah. It was to be expected.
It was a little bit expected, yeah.
It has to go somewhere, so yeah, but I'm really happy with the results.
I'm really looking forward to that new engine in the brand new M3 and M4. I mean, you're looking at basically 600 horsepower without any other modifications than the GTS Black.
Yeah.
And 600 horsepower in an M3 and M4 is serious.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really crazy. And actually, BMW is able to give Mercedes 4-liter V8 a pretty strong competition with this, which is crazy, because it's 2 cylinders less, 1 liter less, and still it's just as fast as Mercedes V8. So it's quite a good job, I would say.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, so we talked a lot about the actual engine power, but I think we still have to find out how the car actually performs in turns, because it's still an SUV, and by now we didn't have the chance to really give it a throttle on a curvy mountain road.
Yeah, but I can feel the M suspension already.
Yeah, it's pretty like relentless.
Yeah, it's
really
stiff. It's pretty stiff on SUV.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be willing to suffer if you drive this in the M mode. It's like crazy. You wouldn't think that an SUV is that stiff. It's hard. But I mean, it's a BMW M, so I like it. Like, they go full thing. Like, if you want an M car, you get an M car, and it's hard and it's sporty, and that's what you get. So take it. So unfortunately, there's a motorbike in front of us, which will probably be very scared in a second because we're faster than him. But this gives you a pretty good impression about how the car behaves. It's like you have a full-blown motorcycle in front of you, and of course it always depends on the driver, but you are in a really fast car. It's not like, okay, it's an SUV, you have to brake before every turn. No. Basically, you can go hunt motorcycles in it on mountain roads.
If you want to, you can do it. And also, it's not rolling that much. I mean, the chassis, it's pretty stiff.
Absolutely, absolutely. And still, if you drive it in comfort, it's reasonably comfortable.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's just, if you put it in M mode, it's in M mode. So you really notice, right?
I mean, I wrote an article about this car, and the guy mentioned, if you're looking for an M3 Touring, you should go for the X4 M.
Absolutely, because BMW won't give you an actual M3 touring, so this is your best way to go.
This will not happen.
Yeah.
So this is a good option. You can go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I think that's a wrap. Like, the car's great. It's great in turns. The engine is like a monster.
Yeah.
For a 6-cylinder 3-liter engine, this is a real statement, you have to say. And it's a big step up from the S58, which already has been a great engine.
Exactly.
So in my opinion, there's only like 1,000 reasons more to be optimistic for the upcoming M3 and M4.
Yeah, really looking forward to that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it for this car. Interested to hear what you guys think about the car. Write it in the comments. Of course, if you like the video, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and see you in 2 weeks in our next episode of RaceChip Insights.